What is up, guys? This is Pinzo back with another video today, and what I have for you guys is something different. This is something I really wanted to do for a while. I've been asked about it a couple times, and so I finally buckled down, did some editing, and we're going to get it done. This is part one in hopefully a multi-part series of me redesigning Paragon heroes. I complain about it a lot on stream. It makes it my way into some of the videos, right, where I talk about how basic a lot of the hero kits are in this game and how they feel very 2016. Well, why would I complain about it if I can't do it better, right? So my idea for this was to go through and redesign Paragon heroes to kind of update them and fit into 2023 MOBA environment, which is, again, it's much more advanced than 2016. I will not be doing all of the predecessor heroes because, again, some of them are supposed to be basic. Characters like Steel are supposed to be that sort of entry-level character, and that is necessary. Don't get me wrong. I understand that that is a necessary thing to have in a game. Some characters just feel really outdated, though. The goal of this is to not completely redesign and give a character 5 new abilities, because in my opinion, I would just go make new characters if that was what I wanted to do. So the goal of this is to keep the Paragon players happy with the way that their character is implemented, but update it and make it feel better in today's MOBA environment. That is the goal for this series. I haven't made very many videos like this, so let me know down below. You tell me what works, what doesn't work, what you like about the video, what you think I can do better, all that kind of stuff. I want to know all your guys' thoughts about this. So we're going to jump right into this. The first hero we have today is Drongo. I picked Drongo because I feel like he has a lot you can do with his theme. As a Wastelander, I feel like there's a lot you can do with that. And I feel like it's an okay job as it is now. I also think his kit's very frustrating as it is now. Gag Grenade and his ultimate specifically, I think are very frustrating. So I fixed them to not necessarily reduce their power level, but to make them have a little more counterplay. And that's what you guys are going to see. So we're going to jump right in. You guys are seeing the picture. I'll zoom into everything. Don't worry. So starting us off, his passive, Wastelander. Completely reworked this. I don't like his current passive. To me, it feels like they were thinking of what they can quickly code into the game and throw on Drongo as a passive. And that's what they did. It's just dot damage based on max health. And to me, it feels a little lazy. So I went through and I made it so that Drongo, he has this arsenal of weapons on him, right? He has a gag grenade, he has a boomerang, he has a bazooka cannon, right? When he uses these abilities, he has to rely more on his pistol while they're coming back up. So because of this, he's a Wastelander. I figured, hey, he would probably shoot faster. So I gave him attack speed when his abilities are on cooldown. So this is 3% plus 0.5% per level per ability. So at level 18, this is 12% attack speed per basic ability on cooldown. His ultimate does not affect his passive, notably, but it's 36% attack speed if all your basic abilities are on cooldown at level 18. It's not a crazy powerful passive, but 36% of attack speed is, like, that's a decent amount, right? It will make him hit harder, and it synergizes with his kit, as we will get into. Starting us off, his first ability is Boomerang. This ability, I think, is pretty good. It's a basic ability, but I didn't think it needed reworked too hard. I took the slow off of it because I think that with the rest of his kit, as we'll get into, I think the slow would just be a little too strong. However, I increased the damage and I front-loaded it. So the way that this ability works is the damage number that you see, that 190 plus 60% physical power, that is for the first hit. And then if they get hit a second time on the comeback from the boomerang, they take half damage. So if you hit a 2-tap on someone with a boomerang, it will do more damage, but it will also do more damage than just hitting one, right? It does more damage on the first hit and less damage on the second hit. So the damage that it does total comes out to be a tiny bit more than it does currently to justify losing the slow. But if you only hit one hit, it does a lot more than it does currently. So that's the reasoning behind it. I think that it's a pretty good ability. We'll get into, again, it's not bad to have an ability like that. It just does more damage on one hit rather than two. So moving into his first ability that we're going to cover, this is Gag Grenade. Gag Grenade is currently, in my opinion, very frustrating. It's a 3-second AoE on the ground that silences people inside of it, and there's no counterplay to it. There's no interaction with that ability other than walking out of it, which can be very frustrating. So I made this ability aimable. You have to land this ability. The way that this works is when you activate the ability, Drongo throws the grenade, and it throws just in a straight line, like an auto attack, essentially. When it hits a surface, so a floor or a wall, or an enemy, a minion or a hero, it attaches to them. And then after 0.5 seconds, it explodes. And that explosion is the same radius as current Gag Grenade. It is the same size. But it silences everyone hit by it instantly for 1.2 seconds at max rank. And it's a guaranteed silence. It also, I upped the damage quite a bit because I figured if you can miss it, it better do more damage than what it is right now. I thought that was fair. This ability has more payoff, but it's a trade-off. Current Gag Grenade can potentially silence someone for 3 seconds. This Gag Grenade is guaranteed to silence someone for 1.2, right? It's a thing where if you miss it, it obviously doesn't do anything. But right now, if you throw Gag Grenade at your feet and it's not in a good spot, someone can be silenced for like 0.2 seconds, right? Rather than this being a guaranteed 1.2 second silence. So depending on the situation, it's actually more powerful now. But you can miss it, which means that if someone jukes you, right, you got outplayed. Or if you hit it on someone who's trying to juke you, you outplayed them. It adds a lot more like playability into the ability, which I really like. The next ability, Rad Rounds. This one is a bit of a rework. So current Rad Rounds, the way it works is you do bonus damage per shot, and then after you hit autos on someone with it, they explode after a set duration, and it does bonus damage all at once. So I took that, and I kind of took that damage and just spaced it out. So when you activate this ability, you get a set number of shots, depending on the rank of the ability. Starts at 3, at max rank it's 4. And those shots do dot damage when you hit people with them. It looks like it's not very much, but keep in mind that it's hitting 3 times. So each Rad Round is doing 90 plus 30% of your physical power, meaning if you hit 4 of them, it's doing 360 plus 120% of your physical power on someone as dot damage, which is quite strong. That's a lot of damage, right? So keep in mind that because it's dot damage, it looks really small. On top of that, I thought this ability, I thought it was a little weak on its own, but I thought, what someone getting hit by radiation bullets, what would that do? It would probably make it pretty hard to heal, right? You probably couldn't bandage up that wound very easily. So I put 40% anti-heal on this. I think it's fair. It gives him this counterplay, as you'll see when we get to the ultimate. It gives him kind of this counterplay to healers, which I really like. On top of that, this ability, it looks kind of weak on its own, but again, the damage is on top of the 4 auto attacks that you're doing, right? Your 4 autos still do damage, and they apply that 120% plus, 400 bonus damage, right? As like on top of the autos. So it looks a little weak, but it would not be, I promise. Getting into the ultimate, this is the only ability in Drongo's kit that I fully reworked, because I think his current ultimate is kind of fighting itself on what you want to do. It does a lot of damage, and it has protection shred on it, but it's also an escape. So when you use this, it's generally to get out of a situation, even though you would think that the stats on the ability mean that you want to press this to go in. So I scrapped the ability, and I thought of what would Drongo do what would Drongo want, or what would I want Drongo to do in a fight? And I decided that I think it would be really cool if Drongo could find a way to bring the wasteland to him, right? He is this guy. He has this home field of this radiation wasteland. What if he could bring it to the battlefield in Predecessor? So what he does is he pulls out his bazooka. He shoots it at the ground, and it does damage when he uses it, but he does not, no knockback. He doesn't fly or anything like that. It creates this field. I picture it similar sized to Decker Cage, a tiny bit smaller than Gideon and Gadget Ultimate, but about that size. And in this field, a couple of things happen. We're going to go through them, and then I'll go through the numbers. So it does damage when it goes off. It activates his Rad Rounds. It anti-heals enemies, and it near sights enemies. So we'll go through those in order. It does damage. The damage is low. It is not meant as a damage. You can use it to finish off someone who's low, but it's not meant as a damage ability. It is to buff the rest of his autos, is essentially what it is. He is an auto attack carry. This is meant to buff his auto attacks. While he is standing in the area, every basic attack that he fires is affected by Rad Rounds. Every single one. So you can it's a 6-second lifetime. If you can get 12 autos off in that lifetime, you are doing a crazy amount bonus damage, right? It has this kind of give and take where do you build more power to increase the damage of those Rad Rounds, or do you build more attack speed to get more Rad Rounds off, right? It has a give and take to it on how do you build this character. I'm sure it'll be min-maxed, but who cares? What else does this do? Oh, anti-heal. 20% anti-heal to all enemies standing in the area. I decided that this stacks with Rad Rounds because it gives Drongo this thing where someone who's not from the wasteland would not know how to live in it, right? So people like Narbash who heal, their healing just wouldn't be as effective in that wasteland. So why not let Drongo have this counterplay where he can anti-heal people at 60%? I really liked that. I thought it felt good. I don't picture this stacking with items because giving Drongo ability to 100% anti-heal people seems too strong. So I picture it capping at the 60, but I think that that's pretty cool. On top of that, this near sights people. Because again, it's a wasteland. Drongo, of course, has his mask. It near sights all enemies in it. Picture this kind of like Viper ultimate, where inside of it, you're nearsighted and you can't see very far. I picture this limiting vision to about 50% of auto attack range. So half of the auto attack range you can see. Drongo's teammates are unaffected. So if a ranged character is on the enemy side, they're standing in this, they can only see half of their auto attack distance, but they can still shoot the full distance, right? You can fire blindly through this. It doesn't actually limit your auto attack range. You just can't see it. Melee heroes, of course, 50% of ranged attacks still, so they can see past their normal range. But something like a Sevarog root at max range, you'd still be throwing it out blindly. It would give him 6 seconds where he's really powerful, but also that those 6 seconds don't move around, right? You know that if he uses this, he's in that area, right? So you can counterplay around that, maybe fight his team, drop a gadget ult on him, right? That kind of thing where he is strong in this area, but he doesn't get to move around with that strength. You can use it to run away because people don't want to chase through it. I thought it was a cool way to let him bring his home field advantage to the battlefield, right? Because that makes sense. If Gideon can throw rocks from space, if you consider space Gideon's home field advantage, right, it makes sense that Drongo could find a way to bring the wasteland to the battlefield in Pred. So that's what I came up with. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you guys have questions, let me know down below. In the future, I don't know if I'll like shorten these videos at all. This one might have been a little bit rambly, but again, it's my first time trying one of these, so let me know. I want constructive criticism from you guys on a video like this, so let me know what you guys think down below. Anyways, that's all I've got for you. So as always, I've been Pinzo. This video's donezo. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.